What's up? We got Arrow Season 3, Episode 9, The Climb. So this episode starts off with the Arrow arresting a lowlife, and Quentin says that he's the best partner. But then a League of Assassins member, which Oliver for some reason confuses for Merlin. He's like Merlin, but he's like Merlin. But I'm like, Oliver, you've seen League of Assassins where before. I just think this is, lazy writing where he's just like Merlin. But I'm just like, Oliver, you've seen League of Assassins guard before. So they capture him, and then a guy in a golden mask shows up and beats him. And no, it's not Hot Dan. Hot Dan's dead. It's another guy in a golden mask, but then he's presented in front of Nyssa. He's presented in front of Nyssa, and Nyssa's like, Nyssa, what are you doing? Wait, Nyssa, and she's like, we told you to find. We told you that we would find Sarah's killer, and she's like, her father's getting very impatient with the whole, not find Sarah thing, and he's like, not finding Sarah's killer thing, and he's like, but we agreed, and she's like, 10-0, dude, and she was like, in centuries past, if one of the League of Assassins members was killed, one of the League members would kill a bunch of 30 people. And he's like, you're gonna kill innocent people? And she's like, no, that will go to Sarab. And Sarab reveals to be Maseo, Oliver's friend from Hong Kong. And yeah, weird that he's in. Yeah, and Oliver's like, Maseo? And he's like, nah, bro, Maseo's dead. He's Sarab now. So, yeah. So she's like, find Sarah's killer. So, yeah. So they have to now Team Arrow has to find Sarah's killer. Which I'm so sad they killed Sarah off the show. R.I.P. my TV show child. She's the best. Where's Sin? Where's also my other TV show child? Where's Sin? Why isn't she here? So, yeah. So they track on the blood blood of the arrow that killed Sarah, and he's like, and she's like, Felicity's like, this gotta be a mistake, and he's like, who killed Sarah? And she's like, and Felicity's like, you did, Oliver. He's like, wait, what? He's like, Malcolm Merlin put his DNA on it, and he's like, Oliver, there's another person who could have killed Sarah, Thea. And he's like, no, Thea didn't do this. Malcolm Merlin put his DNA on the arrow. And Detective Diggle is back in this episode because Detective Diggle is amazing. Even though he doesn't do any Detective Diggle sleuthing, he's still the best character. So Oliver tries to confront his sister, and she's like, and she's like, wait, what? No, she was in Corto Maltese since May. If she was back in Starling City, she would call them. And he totally buys this in full, thinking that because Oliver's still suspicious when it comes to his family member. His mom lies to him, he buys it in full. Thea lies to him, he buys it in full. Really, Oliver, you can't be suspicious at least once? I don't know. So we see Laurel talking to Sarah's grave, and Thea shows up saying about how she thinks Sarah's alive, and she's like, Sarah's not, and she's like, the only person who knows are them because she can't obviously tell them that Oliver's the Arrow, so she's like, yeah. So she's like, does your dad know? And she's like, no. Even though we want him to know, and it's annoying to think that he doesn't know. Yeah. And also Laurel's mom just shows up out of nowhere, out of the blue. She just shows up. She has nothing to do with this episode. She just shows up to find out to find out by Laurel's face that Sarah's alive, dead. I'm gonna say alive. She's dead. She's by Laurel's face. She just finds out Sarah's dead. Like, that's all she's in this episode. She doesn't even show up for any of the other scenes. She just finds out Sarah's dead. Questions if Quentin knows. She said she doesn't, and then she just leaves. What's the whole point of having her in this episode? Laurel could have told Quentin could have been replaced, could have been in that scene with her, and could have had that same feeling, and it would have and yeah, Laurel's mom is kind of not. I don't know. Laurel's mom is a character. She's just. So she appeared twice in season 1, once in season 2, and once in season 3. That's just actually no. She appeared like twice in season 2. Yeah, twice in season 2. Yeah, twice. And once in season 1. She only appears this one time in season 1. Season 3. Sorry, season 3. She only appears this one time in season 3, and then she's never heard again. And wink, wink. I'm just saying she never appears again because she's not that important of a character. She only exists in this episode to say, "Oh, Sarah's alive. Sarah's dead, isn't she?" And then just leaves. Not in the next scene. Not in any scene after this. She's just like, "Sarah's dead, isn't she?" And then does Quentin know? And she's like, "No, it will hurt him." And then she just leaves. So what was the point? I know I'm kind of complaining about things, but I'm just saying, what's the point of having her in this? So yeah, so Oliver decides to fight Thea, and Arrow decides to fight Thea, but Thea fights back, and Malcolm's like, "Oh, Thea called. The Arrow she had a fight with the Arrow." And sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, she had a fight with the Arrow. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, he may have spared them. When he spared the man who killed his mom, he thought he would never kill again. He was wrong. But wait. That's another plot hole. Oliver only stopped killing because of Tommy. Why is he saying when he thought that he would never kill because so Malcolm's like, "Don't kill me, Oliver." He's like, "Don't kill him, Oliver." And he's like, "Why?" "For Thea." And he's like, "Why?" And he shows him a video of Thea shooting the arrows into my TV child, Sarah Lance. There, that's how I feel. I screamed inside my shirt. Because this is just like, wait, what? Okay, I get Merlin can be a bit of a jerkwad, but he mind controls his own daughter to kill Sarah. That's why Sarah doesn't. Okay, that's why Thea doesn't remember any of this, because he used a plant that grows in cultural Maltese to mind control her to do whatever he wants. But once the mind control is over, the host doesn't remember anything. So Oliver's just like, yeah, I'll tell the league everything, that you killed Sarah, that you killed Sarah and you had Thea under mind control. And he's like, "Hold up, you're not gonna do that." And he's like, "Why not?" "Because if you do that, the league will kill Thea, because Thea is his and if you challenge Roz to a trial by combat, it will clear all the blood out of Thea, his reign and Thea's." Okay? So what does Oliver do? Oliver goes with this plan and tells them, and goes to the League of Assassins and is like, "Hey, he killed Sarah." And he's like, "What?" And this is like, "Why did you do that?" And he's like, "Because she begged me to." Again? Why did Oliver have to do this? He could just expose Malcolm in this whole... He could expose Malcolm. At least Oliver's mom had the guts to expose Malcolm to the league. Oliver just does it to protect his sister. I get why. But come on, man. So yeah, so he's like, I request to a trial in combat. So yeah, so Maseo, or Sarab as he likes to be called, basically tells Oliver that he arrived at the same time as Sarah and knows that Oliver would never kill her. He knows Oliver from his Hong Kong flashbacks. And sorry for my screaming in my shirt, but sometimes you just have, when you're shocked by something, or your favorite character dies, you just have to scream into something. And my shirt is the only thing I can scream into. So, yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. So he challenges him to a trial by combat. Yeah, so the trial by combat starts. I'm gonna skip all over the Ray stuff because I don't care about Ray Palmer as a character. So Roz explains that when he was 11, he killed his first victim. And Oliver's like, you've lived your last day. And he's like, no, you lived your last breath. And he's like, no, you lived your last day. And they get into a shirtless battle. Yeah, a shirtless battle yeah, but then Roz overpowers Oliver, swords him in the, stabs him and kicks him off the mountain. Bang! Making now everyone believe that Oliver is either dead. So, what an episode. Oh boy, do I love this episode. I just love it. I love the shirtless battle. I love the Malcolm reveal. And I screamed into a part of the video screaming because I was just mind blown. This mind blowing episode for me. But yeah, this is my favorite episode. The shirtless battle was really cool. But anyway, that was the Arrow, and I'll see you. That was Arrow, and I'll see you next time when we review more Arrow. Or should we not do this? Or we can't do the Arrow thing anymore because now that the show is meant to believe Oliver's dead. I guess we'll do this. Boom. Yeah, until Oliver's dead, Oliver's alive. Bam, 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 bam.